My name is Lorenzo Vidal, and like Gauthier and Sammy, I'm an exchange student from European Business School of London, where I study business. I'm here just for an exchange just for 6 months this semester that finishes in December, this upcoming Friday. And I'm very excited about this because I've been working on this project for the 14 weeks that this course has been going on. And I want to introduce today red writing sangria. Now, unfortunately, I didn't bring any sangria with me today, but please bear through my presentation. So, what is red writing sangria? Now, our idea, my passion, is to rethink and redesign the classical Spanish drink sangria. It is a bottle alcoholic cocktail that we will make and mix. It is a drink that has a long tradition in Spanish culture, but our approach is of a more premium, more high quality standard. We will be using only the best ingredients, locally sourced and natural. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with sangria, what sangria is, like I said, it's a very traditional Spanish drink that is made with red wine, fresh fruit, orange juice, lemon juice, and more traditional recipes include cinnamon and vanilla. Now, like he said, we are rethinking a classic. We're redesigning our idea of what sangria needs to be. And through our research, through my research, I found that there's a very big gap for such product in the American market. With the affluence of tourism of American people in Spain in recent years, I found on my research that Americans like it very much when they come overseas. And so there's a big popularity of the drink here in the States. However, when you go to a Mexican restaurant, when you go to a Spanish restaurant here, the sangria is made in a very inexpensive, cheap kind of way, which kind of shames the reputation and the quality of the drink. So what me and my idea, my company, what we try to do is to bring this high quality, this premium product and authenticity back to the sangria. So, little insight on the industry here in the United States. Since 2005, the wine production in the country has grown at a steady 3.4%, which is really big compared to the years previous. As of 2005 as well, the US is the 4th largest wine producing country in the world, just behind Spain, Italy, and France. Also, in wine consumption, as of 2011, the United States ranked 2nd largest wine consuming country in the world. Just a fact, California is the largest wine producing state of the country. So I believe this is very big, and it's very important to us because there really is an industry and a craving for this sort of product. Although this is a specialty drink, it's not just wine. We know, and through our research, we found that there's a gap for this product. Now, it is worth mentioning that there is some competition. Although 2 of these brands that I've mentioned here are not yet in the United States in the market, it is worth mentioning them. Because like us, they're high quality, they're premium, they're handcrafted. This first one, for example, although it only operates in Europe for now, it's a potential competitor that needs to be reckoned. Although we believe that red writing sangria is a very unique product and a very unique approach to this drink, companies such as L'Oréal should be reckoned. However, they have a very limited production. Only last year they produced 3,000 bottles, which is very small. Our approach to production would be much larger. Other companies worth mentioning are La Prodigiosa, but again, this is a very limited product that only operates in Europe. And out of the 3, the only one that operates in the United States is THIMUN. However, this is a very inexpensive, very cheap, excuse language, kind of product that doesn't really compete with us. Now, who are we trying to target? Again, through our research, we found that who we want to target is people that enjoy consuming wine and not only just play with it, if you allow me the term, just sort of enjoy the leisure kind of consumption of wine. They know their experience about what they like, they know what wines they like, and they're very educated in their tastes. Also, we thought that people living in large cities will also be to be targeted. people in New York also take a very kind of upscale take to drinking, if you like. They are willing to spend a little bit more on high quality products. Now, production, and this goes into my implementation, because in the beginning I really thought this could be, especially in Spain, I thought this could be a very potential, very interesting idea to take forward. And so my first implementation was, how do I want this to be produced? Because yeah, I'm talking about a high quality product, I'm talking about a premium product, but what does that mean? Well, for us, that begins with the production, obviously, because when you're talking about a product of this high quality, the production process needs to be very well looked after. So I contacted this company. It's called Custom Drinks in Spain. They're owned by Estrella Galicia. You probably won't know about them, but they're the biggest beer brewery in Spain. And what this company do is very interesting. So I take care of step A of the production process, which involves the design, the formula for the drink, and I just give it to them. So from point B to Z, they take care of everything else. At a very affordable rate that we found through continuous discussions and negotiations, I found that this was the most suitable approach of production for us. And in fact, if I was to take this further and to pursue this venture, the price that they offer was very attractive to us for an initial batch of Red Riding Sangria. Now, the marketing and branding, as you've probably figured already, there's a big reference to a little Red Riding Hood in the name, because we thought this was a very sort of attractive kind of image for the brand, excuse me. The black and red colors, this sort of dark and dramatic feel to it. If you allow me a few examples, also in my implementation, I worked closely with a graphic designer that helped me sort of put this kind of image together of what I believe the product should look like. So this is kind of what I envisioned the bottle to be, and like I said, Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood is a bit part of the image. You can see it envisioned here. Now, more into the market validation side of things.
Fancy.
Tricky. So, different things that we did to sort of validate our company, our idea. First and foremost, I thought it would be very, we would get very highly positive feedback if we would to gather a lot of people together. So what we did is we threw a little event, a little gathering of friends and acquaintances. In the end, 42 people came, which for a sort of a school project and idea was a good turnout. And out of this 42 people, well, we gave 2 different sangrias. Our very own product, the more elaborate kind of sangria, and a more generic sangria that I found you can find in any liquor store. Out of those 42 people, at the end of the event, I interviewed 20 of them. I asked them some questions that I thought would be helpful for me. So, such sort of questions were of the nature of, why would you pay higher for a product like this, and why would you do it? Because this would be, yes, it is a more high scale product, but not always people are willing to pay more for it. What I found by just doing this first initial interview in this very first event, when the company was just a concept, is that people were really, it was very, the feedback was very positive, because people were willing to pay a little extra for that extra quality that you would find in Red Riding. So other things that I did, I also did a survey which I was recommended not to do by brewers, because this is always very generic. You always get very sort of straightforward answers that don't really help, but in the same time, feedback was quite good. I mean, this way it sort of helped us narrow who we were trying to target. And so again, another simple question of the surveys was, do you think the design, sorry the misspelling there, of the bottle is appealing? And this is the bottle that we're shown, which is sort of the final design for us. As a whole, 4 out of the measurement, the 1 to 5 stars, 4 was picked the most, which is, I believe, a very high and positive feedback. Now, the third thing that I did and that I found most valuable out of the whole market validation is I went out to different liquor stores around the Soho area. and I interviewed the managers in regards to, I brought a little replica of what the product would be like, something that I did myself. I mixed an initial formula of the product, and I brought them in a replica of what I want the bottle to be. And I asked them questions such as, would they be willing to exhibit it? Would they be willing to pay it? And I gave them a price that I thought was reasonable. I said, my price would be $13. And in regards to that price, how much more would you be willing to go, and what margins do you think you could? Again, answers were a bit ambiguous, but the feedback was very positive in regards that out of the 4 liquor stores that I went to, the 4 of them were willing to exhibit and sell the product. Although, I have to say that the prices were not as high as I thought they would be. 3 of them, they wanted to sell it for about $10, which I thought it was a bit, lower than what I expected the price to be. But the positive was the feedback was positive, which yep. And that's it.
Can you describe the ingredients in
yeah, of course. Ingredients are very simple for us. There are no chemicals at all. It's just red wine. It's a verdejo, if you know the kind from Spain, and orange, lemon juice, cinnamon, and vanilla, and that is all that goes to it. And for the extra cake, the recipe includes fresh fruit, but that is something that we believe the customers should add at their own kind of taste.
Because what occurred to me as you were talking, some studies tend to show that a little bit of wine is actually good for you. In other words, and what you've done here is you've added other ingredients in sangria which are pretty healthy too.
Yes.
I think there's a health side to this thing that you might want to consider, because I think it is a healthy drink.
That is a very interesting point that you raised. I've never thought of it that way. Thank you.
And you have a spokesman, look how healthy.
Yeah, your visuals and your graphics are fantastic.
Oh, terrific.
Really
No,
good job.
oh,
The product design is very, very good.
Thanks.
And the presentation too, like Prezi is great, you gotta be careful, like if you get somewhere without an internet connection, you're in
Yeah,
trouble,
right.
you can't do anything, right?
Yeah, no.
Unless you pay the premium.
Yeah, to be honest, the first time I used it, I've always used PowerPoint. I thought, I'd give it a go.
Yeah.
By the way, the bottle of all the sangrias, the competitive brands, they all seem to have a large base. Is that is there a reason for that? Because
there's not like a technical reason for it. I think it's more like aesthetic reason. Yeah. As of right now, it's not. I haven't found in my research anything that says that it's beneficial for the product. Just
Just one other question.
Yeah.
It seems to me, just tell me if this is right, associate sangria not with like a single person drinking, but with a whole party, a group. It's a group kind of drink, is it not? Which I think also is just commercial appeal.
Yeah.
I like this very much.
This is very true. In Spain, the tradition is that people would gather around.
That's
yeah,
my
and
impression of
drink
sangria. It's a group drink.
Yeah, very right.
Like a big punch bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Good, well.